is a perfect speaker for the beginning. Thank you, sir. Please welcome.
Namaskaram. KTX, Kerala Technology Expo Global Wave 2024 enne ക്ഷണിച്ചതിലും ഇവിടെ സംസാരിക്കാനൊക്കെ ഒരു ഓപ്പർച്യൂണിറ്റിക്കും വളരെ നന്ദി. Again, I must, there are friends in the crowd. Sailesh, there's Srikanth, there's Renish. So it's also, good to sort of see old friends. When I talk about Industry 4.0 and MSME sector, so, about 32 years back, I started my career in what was not called Industry 4.0 then. It was called very simply CAD and CAM, And, some of my old mentors, Sailesh and Srikanth, were there before me. So, incidentally, I also came to Calicut. I flew in from Pune. I was in Pune yesterday morning, and that's where our development center is based. We've got about 2,800 people in Pune. That's today probably the hub of the Industry 4.0 industry. So it's only appropriate that, I came to Calicut to talk about this topic from Pune. So that's where, I thought I'll set the context. So again, today I'll talk about this topic, Industry 4.0 and MSME sector. So I think today the agenda that I would like to talk to you about is Industry 4.0 and MSME sector in India. I'll first take you through an introduction of what Industry 4.0 is and discuss briefly about the industrial revolution timeline, because it's important to set a context here. Then we'll discuss about the positives and improvement areas for the MSME sector in India from my perspective. I'm no expert, but I'll give you my perspective from a Siemens standpoint. I'll follow that by how digital transformation and workforce development can increase the competitiveness of Indian MSMEs. Because I think it's important that we build products for the world. It's no longer good to say that we are make in India. I think it's design in India and make in India, and we should be making products that are aspirational for the globe and just not from an Indian standpoint. And lastly, I'll give you some closing remarks on what I think are the best practices and learnings for MSMEs. So, without much ado, I'll set the industrial revolution timeline as we know it. While everybody talks about this buzzword Industry 4.0 for the past few years, I thought it's important to share with you briefly about the industrial revolution timeline and what exactly this means. So, Industry 1.0, which was late 18th to early 19th century, the key features were around mechanization. It was around water and steam power. Example, invention of the steam engine by James Watt in the late 18th century. Transformed industries like, let's say, textile manufacturing, enabling the use of machines for tasks previously done by hands. Then came Industry 2.0, which was the late 19th to the early 20th centuries, which was around mechanization, around mass production, assembly line and mechanization. We talked about Henry Ford's, that's an example that we normally know, Henry Ford's implementation of assembly line production at the Ford Motor Company, which revolutionized the automotive industry, making cars more affordable and accessible to the general population. Then the Industry 3.0, which was in the late 20th century, which is around automation, electronics and IT. Examples were, the adoption of computer systems in manufacturing plants, which allowed for increased automation. CNC machines that came in the 70s, for instance, automated a lot of production processes in various industries. And finally, Industry 4.0, where we are talking about it today, is around the whole digitalization, which is the key features around integration of digital technologies, artificial intelligence, IoT, and data analytics. Examples of this are smart factories, which are equipped with IoT sensors and connected devices, which allow for real-time data processing and analytics. Robotics and again intelligence are employed for predictive maintenance, optimizing production efficiencies. For instance, in the healthcare industry, we're talking about personalization. Again, advanced robotics and AI has led to this as well. But I'll also like to leave you with something that's maybe out of syllabus, as we say, right? When you learn for exams, and something out of syllabus, Industry 5.0, because it's coming. So maybe this slide will soon change to Industry 5.0. So what's that about? It's primarily about personalization and humanization. People talk about let's say machines replacing humans. I don't think so. But in the way we see it is, and again, that's like it started in the 2020 around that. It's basically supporting and not replacing humans, the whole concept. it's finding the optimal balance of efficiency and productivity. So it's around human centricity, sustainability, and resilience. That will be what Industry 5.0 is going to be around. So I thought I'll just set a context of that while we talk about this whole industrial revolution timeline. So moving on, I'll explain what the Industry 4.0 is from a digitalization standpoint, which is the comprehensive digital twin. And this is a word that you'll keep hearing, this whole thing about a digital twin. The comprehensive digital twin approach integrates all the necessary domains. This covers the whole product and production life cycle and includes a closed loop to ensure performance data is fed back into models that are continuously refined. This is important. So if you look at it, it's the virtual and the real that basically integrate, right? It also needs to cover electronics, electrical, mechanical design, software, manufacturing, application development, IoT analytics, right? It's the gamut is very vast. The data generated by the product in use or the factory in operation or the performance, as we call it, enables a continuous loop of optimization both for the product and the production. So that's important, right? And the digital twin creates new insights thanks to the combination of physics-based simulation, in fact, even chemical-based simulation in the pharma industry today, with data analytics in a fully virtual environment. This makes it possible for one to realize innovations faster and more reliably, while also requiring much lesser physical prototypes. That's the whole thing, the concept of a digital twin. The goal is to create a precise digital representation of the real world, the digital twin. Performance data from the real world will allow to feed to those back in the virtual model to continuously optimize product and production. So, in summary, with the help of the digital twin, you can predict product and production performance like looking into a crystal ball and predict the future. That's what it does. Reduce the number of physical prototypes because we validate our product in the digital world. And finally, you can ensure that the customer requirements and those of you working with suppliers have been met thanks to an effective collaboration platform. So that's the whole summary of this whole Industry 4.0 and the concept of the digital twin. Right? So I've explained the industrial revolution timeline and the concept of the digital twin. So let's get to the MSME sector in India. Again, I mean, this is something that all of us know. MSMEs and startups have always played a significant role in the Indian economy. 30% of the GDP contribution and 49% exports are from this sector. There are approximately about 110 million people employed in this sector and about 100,000 startups today across all industries, which is the third largest globally from a number standpoint. But is it all perfect? The answer is no. Is there scope for improvement? Yes. And that's exactly what I will address today. I think only 1 in 2 MSMEs have adopted digital technology. I mean, you can always debate whether it's 1 in 2 or a little different, but still the concept is, digitalization as a technology. And second is the whole concept of workforce readiness. Only 1 in 2 engineering graduates is job ready because something that, customers keep talking to me on in terms of how do we get more people ready into this whole sector. So that's where I would, and I'll model from here on as to what we probably need to do to, improve this. So again, in my view, I think digital, and in my view, and of course Siemens standpoint, what I've seen is that I think there are probably three broad topics I'd like to leave from a digital transformation standpoint to be competitive. One is a comprehensive digital twin. I've already explained that. It covers the whole entire product and production life cycle, covering electronics, electrical, mechanical design, software, automation, apps development, and IoT analytics. That's point number 1. The second thing, companies must take a personalized approach. I don't think it's any mass production any longer. There are many on-ramp to digital transformation, many paths companies can take. A single approach is not going to work for everyone. Companies need to be able to work at their own pace, enabling fast and predictable digital transformation, leading to optimized operational performance. Plus, companies must also realize how to meet the needs of individual users throughout their organization. That's the second aspect of a personalized, adaptable, and modern setup. And thirdly, no organization will exist in isolation. Today, it is not one size fits all. Digitalization extends through the industrial ecosystem and collaboration between organizations, and it's necessary to create value. Companies must create the industrial network effect. Suppliers, customers, partners, distributors, for example, must all be collaborating within an ecosystem of engineering excellence. So these are the three aspects of what I believe are the mantras for competitiveness in a digital transformation exercise. So again, I'd like to give you a perspective from what we've gone through. I'll probably talk about, let's say, three examples, from an MSME standpoint. One of them is Unbox Robotics. I don't know whether you heard of them. Two founders, Shahid and Pramod, they came together in 2019 to start Unbox Robotics, which is a pioneering robotics technology company, started in Bangalore, now they're in Pune. They obviously had some funding from US, UK, Singapore, investors from there, and now they're trying to transform the warehouse automation space. So like, if you look at their journey, we were involved with them. So their path to digitalization was structured for a product data backbone and back-end processes of their new product introduction. That's what they did. So that's what I said, digitalized software development process. The second one was backed by a digitalized software development process, which we saw an opportunity to help them with that. They looked at a software to sort of digitalize their software development process. And finally, they leveraged an innovative concept called swarm intelligence. So today you talk about a hub and spoke. So the hub speaks to the spoke, but here a hub-to-hub communication is also possible. So this is an example of, I'm not going to talk about the products they use, but broadly, they did start with digitalization at their own pace to basically, start with this. So it's a 2019 startup. Of course, they're based in Pune now. Look them up. It's called Unbox Robotics. The next one, which I'm going to talk about, is something that I'm sure you're more familiar with. Some of you, I'm sure, use their products. I'm a customer as well. Not because they bought our software, but it's a good product. Aether Energy. So in fact, they're, 2013, they started, and of course, they've been in existence for 10 years now. It's one of India's foremost electric motorcycle brands. They've leveraged the industry software to help themselves reduce its design and engineering cycle time, improve product quality, and achieve faster time to market. So like, for example, when you talk about reducing their engineering cycle time, they removed design iterations and adopting a right first-time approach. The second was virtual testing of physical solutions, right? For example, the whole concept, the simulation and virtual testing enable them to crash timings and provide them with great savings in resources and money spent on repeated testing, and in-house testing regime for durability, noise, vibration harness. So they keep, because today, over-the-air updates are possible because, that's something that they need to keep constantly refining. And finally, they also used computational fluid dynamics using a solution of ours to get the design right for the first time. So again, Aether is a good example of how they've leveraged digitalization to sort of speed up the development of their vehicle. Third one, interestingly, is not a startup. It was a brownfield, as I said. It was a brownfield project. Sincera Engineering, again, they're based in Bangalore. They are a global automotive and aerospace parts manufacturer. They improved their production efficiency by modeling complex scenarios using a solution to sort of model it. They achieved significant operating cost savings due to reducing labor hours, up to almost 30%. And again, as I said, right, they were brownfield projects. So it's also sometimes not necessarily that you need to have, all greenfield to start with. You can also adopt digitalization in a brownfield. That's why I said, it depends on how each organization wants to approach this whole topic. So I talked about three topics as to what I think would be the to achieve competitiveness. I talked about three examples. So now, the second topic that I'd like to talk about is the workforce development, because this is important. People are the most sort of crucial aspect in this journey as well. So in order to realize the complete potential of your workforce, there are three levers that basically I believe can be leveraged. And one is a skill enhancement piece here. So I don't know whether you picked up this, it was a tweet or I think 3 days back, about a Singapore government plan of offering subsidy for AI training for their citizens. So even the government is taking a stand because with the advent of AI, how do we train your people? And they basically want to mix and match people to see learning from each other. So that's happening even at a government level. So obviously when you talked about this, implementing skill enhancement programs tailored to meet the needs of the industry and technology advancement in the MSME sector, offering training and in emerging technologies such as digital manufacturing, IoT, AI, and data analytics to equip the workforce with the relevant skills. And of course, collaborating with educational institutions and vocational training centers to design and deliver specialized training programs. The second point is lifelong learning. It's not about a company, it's about somebody's personal learning as well, right? Encouraging a culture of lifelong learning within the workforce, emphasizing the importance of continuous skill development and adaptability. Because technology is changing so fast, you've got to know what's happening all the while. Provide support for employees to participate in workshops, seminars, and online courses, stay updated with industry trends and developments. Obviously, today there's a lot of content available electronically to learn at your own pace. And finally, I think important to establish mentorship programs where experienced professionals can share their knowledge and expertise with younger employees. And third, I think another important topic is diversity and inclusion, I believe. Promoting diversity and inclusion in the workforce by ensuring equal opportunities for all individuals regardless of gender, ethnicity, or background. Implementing policies and practices that foster a supportive and inclusive work environment where employees can feel valued, respected, and wanted. And finally, encouraging diversity of thought and perspectives which can lead to innovation and creativity within the organization. So this is what I think are the three aspects that from a workforce development standpoint. So again, here I've got an example of something that we've been involved in. So this is again my friend Srikanth, who sits here as well, was involved in this as well. So TANSAM, this Tamil Nadu Smart Manufacturing, this was set up by the Tamil Nadu government to provide access to latest technologies in Industry 4.0 for students, startups, and MSMEs. Like typically governments offer land for industry setup. But where are the people going to come from? Where is the technology going to come from? How are you going to foster this whole design in India and make in India? So that's exactly what this center created, TANSAM. It's with the Tamil Nadu Industrial Development Corporation, TIDCO. And this was started in November. When the formal launch was November 2022, soft launch was a little earlier. So it's been in existence for the past 1.5 years. So again, we've been proud to be associated with a technology partner, which is offering the whole connected hardware, software, field experts, consulting, and training. So again, this is in Chennai. It's set up at the Tidal Park in Taramani. Again, two examples that I like to talk about is AtomX. There's a young engineering graduate who was 21 when he approached TANSAM to create a social robo. So I think kids today don't know how to interact. They probably, aloof, probably excessive, watching of, mobiles and, videos. So probably the lack of social interaction is something that this boy picked up and developed this AtomX. He's instantly developed the concept. He's also got funding, and this will be launched in India market in 2024. The other part is, InSource, basically a reverse engineering project, where Shanavas has talked about how TANSAM has benefited. And there are so many other examples that one can talk about. So if you're ever in Chennai, do visit this center. It's open to see what's happening in that. So about 23 plus startups have developed their products and solutions and training their workforce at TANSAM. And then of course, obviously, as I said, right, collaboration with education institutional, vocational training, 1,000 faculty, and in turn about 46,000 students have been trained on this whole Industry 4.0 solutions. It's not about, the perfect recipe, you learn everything, but at least you get exposed these terms, technology, so at least you start thinking about these topics and aspects. So that's, so I talked about, competitiveness, the mantras for competitiveness, digitalization. I talked about workforce development that we need to do. And again, so if I look at what I would think, again, it's not what I say. This again, based on, what I've observed, talking to customers, talking to my partner community, what we've seen. I think MSMEs have an opportunity to accelerate your growth using digitalization. I think that's clearly an opportunity. Two is to upskill your resources in the latest technologies. I talked about Industry 4.0. I also gave you a glimpse of what Industry 5.0 is going to be. I think collaboration with is key. for widespread access to technology, collaborating with industry organizations, software OEMs, or hardware OEMs is critical. So like I mean this saying somehow sort of stuck with me. It says, a colleague used it. He said, we need to adopt technology at the speed of relevancy. I'll say it again. We need to adopt technology at the speed of relevancy. So it's that's what I'm saying. It's very personalized. It's not because somebody's doing it, but at the speed of your relevancy is something that you need to do. And again, lastly, because I'm here because of Siemens. I mean, I cannot but talk to you a little bit of Siemens, and this is our tagline, creating a better future where anyone can turn today's ideas into tomorrow's products and experiences. If you go to a website, this is what it will say: creating a better future where anyone can turn today's ideas into tomorrow's products and experience. So just a bit of Siemens. If you do not know Siemens, it's a 175-year-old company. My grandparents use Siemens products. My parents have used it. I've used it. My children use it. The generation ahead will use it. So we are in a variety of businesses. We are probably the last word when we started in 1847 with electrification. We moved into automation, digitalization, and now, of course, to sustainability. In India, we are about 155 years old. So, so we are here. I mean, we're probably the only country outside of the US, outside of Germany, where we listed in the Indian Stock Exchange as well. So, with that, I'll probably leave you with these thoughts. I know it is. I try to keep it simple. I didn't want to sort of bore you with a lot of slides. I thought of keep it big, bold slides. I thought I'll leave you with my thoughts again, and hope that some of these ideas would spurn you to make maybe improve companies, improve let's say productivity in companies you work for. Maybe start some companies. Maybe become a world beater. And obviously, if something like that happens, then at least I think I've done my job with this session. Again, thank you very much, and again, namaskaram for the opportunity.